Richie here, my fellow Drifter Maniacs, and this is my new WLTOYS 124019. And in this video I'm going to be showing you the #1 mod that you shouldn't be making to this car, or certainly the very first mod, particularly if you are going to be making this thing go faster by fitting a brushless setup to it. That is the 124018, which has got a brushless setup in it. Today I've run that thing a nudging on 70 miles an hour. But it's a little bit of a handful, to say the least, because the aerodynamics of it, on a full throttle at the top end, it's wanting to flip over in some quite spectacular style. But more on that in another video. But that is an absolute missile in the making. This thing, I can guarantee, is going to go far, far faster, particularly when yours truly fits this Castle Sidewinder 4 and 6900 kV brushless motor into this car later on in the week. So if you don't want to miss that video, then hit that subscribe button. In today's video I'm going to be showing you the #1 mod, which is virtually free to do to this car, which is going to make it so much more stable at speed it's untrue. And if you've already got a WLTOYS 144001, you can do the exact same mod to the car, which is going to make it a lot more stable at high speed. So if you're a speedrun guy and you've not done this mod and think like I did, "Don't, Rich, why did I not see that?" Because when the solution popped into my mind, I thought, why on earth did you not think of that before, Richie? Anyway, the mod I'm going to show you in this video is virtually free to do. Anybody's going to be able to do it with what they've got lying around at home. What prompted this idea is this car. And this, some of you may know, is my twin-motored armour infraction. You will notice it is slammed to the ground. The front sits substantially lower than the rear does. I actually interviewed Phil Jolly a couple of months ago, and the one thing Phil got across to me was when doing speed runs, you want the front of the car lower than the rear. The reason for that is this: if your car's level, when it begins to accelerate, the front is going to begin to lift slightly. As the speed then builds up, the air is going to build up under the front of the car very rapidly indeed, causing it to inevitably to blow over like that. If the front of the car is lower down, when you get that initial acceleration, worst case, the chassis is just level, in which case you're going to get reasonably good airflow underneath and you're going to minimise that chance of blowover. If you've got it lowered right down at the front, when you accelerate hard, it's still going to remain down at the front, and therefore the air is pushing on the top of the car, not lifting up from underneath. But this car, straight out the box, does sit virtually level. Minimal drop towards the front. So what's my solution? Well, it's obviously going to be to adjust the droop screws to drop the front down. And there aren't any droop screws in there, Rich. So how are you going to lower the front of the car? Well, if we zoom right in here, there are two little holes, one in each side of the bottom edge of the suspension arm, and those are M3 size holes. They also butt out onto a little piece of metal underneath, and more to the point, that little wing there. And as I said, this mod is virtually free. So what we're going to do is take two M3x10 screws, and we're going to put one in each of those holes on there. They are then going to act as like droop screws, much like the armour, pushing against this plate, which is going to lift the wheels up, lowering the front of the car. Like me. How many people out there are saying right now, "Don't, wish I'd thought of that, Richie?" And simply by putting the two M3x10 screws in there, tighten them down, and you can adjust the ride height of the car. So you're not touching the springs to adjust the ride height of the car, you are fitting what is in effect two droop screws to the car. So what difference does that make to the car? Well, just check out the stance now. Look at how much lower the front of the car is than it was before, simply by fitting those two screws in there. As I said, this is virtually a free mod because everybody's probably got two of those screws lying around. It should, fingers crossed, virtually eliminate any blowovers, because even under hard acceleration, that is not going to want to lift upright like that. It's maybe going to lift level at the best, keeping the front of the nose pinned down, which is ideal for what you want with speedrun cars, like a lot of people are going to modify this 124019 to be. And just check out how much more aggressive that stance is at the front. And comparing it against the 124018, just check out the stance on this thing. This now looks set for speed, whereas this, I know from experience, is set for a blowover. So there we have it, Richie's #1 mod for the WLTOYS 124019, and it most likely won't even cost you a penny if you've already got 2 screws to fit to the car. It is going to make a massive difference if you go brushless with this thing in terms of being able to keep the thing pinned to the ground, because with that nose down stance on air, it is very unlikely to blow over, particularly as the speed builds up. If the nose is down, airflow is going to push on the front and pin the car to the ground even more. Anyway, I cannot help but think this stance of the car is now going to be a lifesaver when I fit this brushless setup to the car tomorrow. And if you don't want to miss that upcoming video, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell.